everyone. Welcome into my Lights Camera Snapshot workshop. It's a workshop about doing effective storytelling pictures and tips and tricks to do like engaging storytelling. I did do a workshop about a year and a half ago called Picture Perfect, which is like a beginner's kind of workshop about how to get a nice picture. So the way this differs is more like a series of pictures that you can use for your storytelling. So like if you have any questions about like the mods and stuff I use, I have like a very comprehensive document from that workshop I can link in to this workshop channel. Just because there's just a lot of really cool mods out there that make picture taking more efficient. But basically when you do storytelling, it's almost like production. There's like behind the scenes stuff that you do, like you gotta get your Sims dressed, you gotta make sure the set looks good, check your camera angles, like lighting, stuff like that. So that's kind of really what I wanted to focus on in this workshop and show you how to do. Let me go. I need to take story pictures anyway. I have so many stories open. Let me pull up my notes again. Okay, so first of all, I would say if you want effective pictures, find something to take pictures with. The in-game camera, honestly, I don't recommend it. If the pictures just turn out smaller than they could, like you could get a lot prettier, more high quality pictures either with a third-party program, or even if you're on like a Windows 10 or Windows 11, you have a built-in thing called Xbox Game Bar. I'm not sure if anybody is aware of that, but I try to promote that as much as I can because it's pretty universal across the newer systems. And to get the to get the game bar pulled up, you push your Windows key plus G, which I don't know if you can see it on mine. Actually, I don't even know. Oh, right there. Can you see that? Does that pop up or is it pretty invisible? Let me look. I don't even know what. I don't know. Can somebody confirm that? If they can't, you can try it on your own. You can see it? Okay, great. Cool. I didn't know sometimes it turns up invisible for some people, like when I try to share it. But basically, yeah, so you push Windows G and you have like this whole kind of like dashboard, and right up here in the top left you have a camera button, and that will take a full screen picture of whatever game you're in when you bring this up. So that's a really good free, like already built-in way you can get like a good big high quality image. You can also record if you want to make machinima or you want to start doing some kind of videos with Sims. But yeah, and so like what you do, you would line up your picture, pull up this overlay with Windows G, and then just hit the snapshot, and then it saves it right here. So if you need to go find it, you can just open in file location and you have all your pictures. It's very, very cool. Yeah, it's built in Windows, right? Great. All right, so then if you just want to get rid of it, you just do Windows G again, like that. So that's one of the ways you can do it. Personally, I use Reshade. So if you have Reshade installed, you can set a button to take a snapshot with Reshade. So my Reshade is right here, and I don't remember how I did it necessarily. Let's see, settings, and there's one of these. Yeah, right here, screenshots. So F12 is my screenshot key. So if you have that enacted, you can do that. Yeah, Reshade is pretty awesome, and there's a lot of different presets out there. You can use Sims 4 presets for Reshade for your Sims 2 game. There's a lot of options. You can make your own Reshade. I don't know personally how to do that, but I was on a stream last night of somebody on Twitch, and they said they made their own Reshade, and I was very, very impressed with it. Another way you can take pictures is if you have an NVIDIA card. It comes with something called NVIDIA GeForce, which usually I think it's Alt-Z you use to bring that up. I don't know if you can see it here, this is my GeForce experience. This is how I stream and record, but I can also take pictures. There is a you can set a screenshot button, and then there's a gallery, and then you go to the gallery and you can take pictures, or you can go to where it is. It says it where it is. So that is another option. Let's see what else. There's some third-party options. I don't do that just because I have options already, but there's like Greenshot, Bandicam, OBS, stuff like that. Actually, I don't know if you can take pictures on OBS, but I know you can like record and stream on it. Green screen and reshade is awesome. Cool. I don't know what green screen and reshade means unless that's a preset. But thank you. I'm glad you think my neighborhood's beautiful. So those are some options. So first of all, get a camera for your picture that's like high quality and gets good quality pictures. I think that's just, it's more engaging that way. So back to my notes. Once you got that, there's some different techniques you can do to do a story, because like some people like to play and some people like to do stories, and I'm one who likes to do both. But sometimes my playing will outpace the way I do stories. So, you know, my Sims are like aging, like they age out of, you know, whatever age they were when I was doing my story. So one thing you could consider doing is just clone your hood in the spot where your Sims are. Like, I want this to be like a save point just so I can do story picks and not have to worry about playing. And that's what I've done for these two. Like, these are different points in my game that I can go back to and just take pictures in, and I can play my actual like play hood that's like current. And what you do for that is basically you just make a new folder in your neighborhoods folder, like give it a 4-digit code, and then you can use the bulk renamer to go through your characters, lots, and thumbnails, and then like everything in the main folder, and like that you've copied from your other hood, just so it recognizes as a different ID, so it shows up all in like the same bar, so you don't have to like go back, because there's another thing where you can go back and forth and just rename your folder and load a different like loadout folder. That's another option. But if you don't want to do that and you want to like keep all your CC and not have a duplicate CC folder that's taking up all that space, especially if you have a lot of CC like me, which you kind of need for storytelling, I think it's more convenient just to clone your hood, have it share like all the buildings in the CC like that. Yeah. Cindy's Pleasant Sims did have a good article about that. It's pretty comprehensive. I'll probably put that in my resource doc here after the workshop's done, because that is very helpful. Yeah. Clone and neighborhood. Yeah, the reason those are flashing blue is because I didn't go fix them in this clone hood. It's fixed in my new hood. Like, this is just because I don't go in here that much unless I'm taking pictures. So I just need to like go into these lots and save them, and then it's not blue anymore. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so I'm currently in this Kashmir March, and the reason I had to clone this is because a sim of mine that I was using for a story, his face got totally jacked up in my current hood, and the last save I had of him not jacked up was in March of last year, so that's why it's called Kashmir March. And so he looks fine, so I do that story in this clone hood instead of my play hood. But that's a technique if you're worried about taking pictures and playing. Just cloning a hood will help that. Alright, am I gonna go do this now? Alright, let's go do this. Let's do the thing. Motherload. What is that, Venom? Alright, I'm gonna go grab a sim.
It has all the overlay and medium priority, high priority, start animation boxes, etc.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a folder with all the downloads.
That's handy. Thank you so much. Who do I want to grab? I want to grab... Oh. I'm trying to remember who all lives here. This is, you know, back in March. My March people. Actually, now that I think about it, did I ever turn this down? Maybe that's why it crashed, because I didn't turn it down.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
What is this, Venom? What am I looking at here?
It was the talk hacks, all the talk hacks that Venon had put up above.
Yeah, if you follow the link, you'll see it's a folder shared by the only exception. She or he, I don't know exactly, made the changed the priority on the boxes by Decor Girl, by May Pink, all the talk hacks is the model hacks to have them high priority,
okay.
to have start-stop functions, so you can use them in combination with post boxes.
Okay. Thank you. That's very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, but there are other things in there, so just stick to the priority and start-stop functions and things like that, because she has her own boxes in there too. So just use what you need.
Okay.
The talk hacks, to get them, like I put my screen to slow motion, or I use that Decker Girl face overlay. And yeah, if I can get him over to take pictures, like, not him, I don't want him, I just need him to go somewhere. This is what I mean by I need a techie sim. So I'm taking somebody who's in the hood where I have the community lot I want to go take pictures on. I was gonna have him go walk to the lot. Now, if you have like horrible, like your game just keeps crashing whenever you go to community lots, then it might be more prudent to just build a set, move in, like make it all residential, move in the sim, like between like wherever you want. But I feel that's tedious because I also play. So like my sims don't live in these community lot sets. So that would be another option if you just can't do like travel to community lots without horrible consequences. What am I doing? I want him to go to City Hall. City Hall, don't fail me. Game is camera shy, right?
Let it simmer. I was going to say, when I build my post boxes, if I have a couple of expressions that work really well together, I will write a single behave that combines the two expressions. So I will have simple facial expressions and then like combined facial expressions. For example, if you do anger and smile at the same time, it looks kind of like a battle cry.
That's awesome. See, that's some like high tier thinking. Like that's very efficient. That's out of my wheelhouse, but like that's really cool that you're like, I'm just gonna use this and I'm gonna write a behave for it.
Yeah, it's just stringing two facial expressions together. So instead of playing one animation, you play one animation and then the next animation right after it.
Oh, I forgot to turn free will off. Just paying that guy. Stop it. Alright, I'm gonna turn my cheats back on. It might be prudent to put this in user startup. What was the other one? Oh, show headlines off. There we go. What else is it gonna do? I was gonna see if this is on. This is on high. Another thing is changing this to medium while you load into lots probably lessens crashes and pink flashes because it's less intense. But then so what I do is I pose everything and then I turn it to high quality just so it has less of a chance to wig out on me. Pose as well. So yeah, so those face overlays and the talk hack, they overlay. So you can put your sim into poses. Most poses work for this. You can put them into their poses and then make a facial expression. So, you know, when he's done paying this, not mime, human statue. Actually, I guess I didn't need him because I wanted to teleport in sims for this. Like, he's my techie sim. I don't want to take pictures of him. He was just, I used him. You're just writing down face expression combos that work well. There's a blog, I forgot who did it, but they like went through the overlays for the Decker Girl box, this one, and combined a bunch and just took pictures of what they were, like as a reference.
Was it Goodbye Sun? I think
Maybe?
it was like a live journal.
Yeah,
way
it might have
back
been a live
in the day.
journal. Mm-hmm.
I think the author was Goodbye Sun.
Okay. Maybe I will get Sim Manipulator after this, because I feel like it is more efficient. Alright, what do I want? I want... Where's this guy? He's right here. And then... You can also dress your Sims before you bring them in. And note that on Gussie Up, if they live by themselves, you can't change their outfits. Like, it just doesn't work. So you'd have to go in and manually change that into their lot. But if they live with other Sims, you can change their outfits with Gussie Up after you teleport them in. Oh, your method is throwing things at the wall until something sticks. Well, you know what? That is effective and that is your process. I'm not judging. Who else? Another thing is you gotta remember where all your Sims are. I also like grabbing people or the Sims that walk in as like background extras. And sometimes you need to contain them. And I know Nika Sims creates townie pens. I just delete them with move object on. I'm like, I didn't need you, so I just delete them. You can use like the visitor controller too if you want to get fancy.
Like townie kennels?
Yep. Like, she makes a fence and just, like, drags them in there as they come in. Because the thing is, if you delete them, then another one will come, because I think there's, like, a max number of Sims that, like, can enter the lot.
Yeah, if it's a community lot, they just keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Attribute that to Nika Sims, because she's the one who first alerted me to townie pens. Alright, we're gonna try this again, and hope it doesn't crash. Unless I'm just... What is their formal outfits? Maybe I could just deal with their formal outfits. And this is where I'm like, appearance, everyone clothing, formal. Okay, I do like her dress. I'm keeping that, but I might change his. Not teleport. What am I doing? Sometimes I'm just clicking and I don't think about what I'm clicking. Okay. Want a suit. That is also every day. I went and defaulted my outfits. I really liked default replacing my outfits. They're just refreshing. That's just something I would recommend if you don't like the Maxis stuff. Oh no, what was he wearing before? Floofy hair, yeah. That's my favorite long hair on males. Actually, there's a vesty one. I think it was this one. I'm gonna do that one. Okay. The reason I'm looking for specific clothes because I started working on this at one point, and then I got some pictures I liked, and so I want to continue. Alright, so I want okay, so I want a scene. Let's see. I want a scene of them out here like sitting. I don't know, sitting and talking. So we got, but actually before I do that, I was going to show you about making your own pose, like with some overlays. So if you have a bunch of overlay boxes, you can do this and not actually have to find a pose. Like if I want him leaning against the wall or something, I would probably just take like not him, sorry, I have to go make them selectable. Again, some manipulator does this and maybe I should get it. Make selectable these two.
I think I saw a video on Sim Blender once. It's because you make them selectable with Sim Blender that visitors don't work. Sim Blender doesn't have all the
I wonder
it's not that flexible.
I wonder what the code difference is in that then. Like when you teleport in a sim, how Sim Manipulator, when you make them selectable, it captures a way that you can manipulate them more. I just wonder about the
I just teleport them in with the teleporter scrub, and then I use the Boolprops testing cheats to make them selectable, and everything works smooth.
Oh, interesting. See, I don't play with Boolprop testing cheats like at all, so I don't usually turn that on, and I don't know what all you can do with that cheat, just because when you have it on, there's pop-ups, and I don't want to deal with pop-ups. Can you link the shrub? Can somebody link the shrub? Because I've not heard of the shrub before. I've only heard of Sim Manipulator and the teleportation cat for teleporting in Sims. So I would like to know all the options.
I think the shrub is a component of Sim Manipulator.
Oh, like so you spawn it with Sim Manipulator?
It's the
Oh.
spawner or the summoner or something.
No. Hobbs says no.
No, I
that
have
shrub.
just a scrub, no Sim Manipulator.
Man, what are these shrubs?
The cat is good too, the cat statue.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you how to jerry your own poses. So I was gonna do leg pose, crossed, and... Oh well, that was the wrong one. Also, make sure you have your Sims selectable. The one you actually want to do. I don't really care about him. I don't care he did that because I'm not using him. Let's do that again. Crossed, start. So that's there. And then I'm gonna do self arms. More cross arms. And then I'm gonna put his spine forward 10 and then take like an angled OMSP. It's like, you know, if you have a pose box, that's probably easier, but if you have like 200, 900 pose boxes like I do, I don't have 900, that's a joke. If you have a lot and you don't want to go through finding whatever pose, you can jerry rig them. I was looking for the 22 here. If I can find it. Sorry, my thumbnails are tiny. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I want them backwards. What's left? Why are you pink? There it is, backward 22. So see, now he can be leaning against something, like a wall or like a low fence. Don't turn pink. Come on, dude. Don't do that. Like that. He's shy. My game has a bunch of problems today. So yeah, that's how you can kind of jerry rig your own pose, like using overlays. So I didn't like use one that was made in milk shape that manipulated like the whole skeleton. Now he's in the middle of blinking, so I'm gonna guess wait for him to stop blinking, and then I'm also gonna drag some of my pose boxes out back here because I don't want to have to flip around every time. Grab my freezer clock. I'm also gonna put this into slow motion, just so I like doing slow motion because especially if you're like trying to capture facial expressions, sometimes it just moves too fast to catch. So if you like put them into like a talk hack or they're just doing a vanilla facial animation, you can really like slow it down and see the nuances of it and capture like the perfect kind of facial expression that way. Depending. Alright, so I'm gonna have him do a smile. Get really up in his face. But okay, so I want him to turn a little, like his head turning a little this way. So you can either use that overlay pose box, but Venom pointed me to this thing earlier this week by William where you can, maybe, hopefully it's available. Maybe it's not for community lots, but if it's on a residential, you can use it. It's called like the head turner. I don't think it's available for community lots. So, and I don't know if enabling it for community lots would work, but that's an option. Okay, so you just changed yours. That's good to know, Ben. And so I would take it into SimP and just make it available for visitors, kind of like what I did with my freezer clock, because SimBlender is whack and doesn't let them do freezer clock. Yeah, it's changeable. Okay, cool. All right, so then I'm gonna grab this one. This is the one I use all the time before I knew that other thing's existence. So I'm gonna have him look left with his head. Left rotations, probably a 20. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. William is pick and mix. That's the sim turner, but apparently it's not. If you download it as is, it's not available. It's not enabled for community lot. All right, did he move his head yet? No, he didn't. All right, I'm putting his neck. Sometimes they need to move their necks too. Neck. Wait, did I do right rotation or left rotation? Now I think about it. Maybe that's why it didn't work the way I wanted it to. Another thing you have to pay attention. You have to just pay attention. Sometimes I get just fed up with this and I snap reset them. I'm like, I don't even know what it is anymore. He's not moving his head, so maybe I should have gone and enabled that thing, but I didn't know it wasn't enabled. Alright, so now I don't know. Sometimes I do this, I just turn them around, especially when they're like looking at something and they look the other way. There, he kind of started looking that way. Eat? Too bad he's in a man bun. His man bun's like, he's not really, that's not really a good look, like lean for him. Goes into the pole. That he could be doing that with a bench. Maybe? His name is Nicholas too. Yes! Julie, that's the really handsome rock star one, right? Iconic. Anyway, I don't think I want him in this pose. I was just doing that to show you how to do the overlays. So I'm just gonna snap reset him. You can use any pose box with a snap reset, especially if you don't remember like all the combos you did to get them in that position and you're just done with it. But I do want him to sit like with an actual pose box, and there's a lot of sitting pose boxes out there. I really should make a collection of like sitting and couples and like more masculine stuff and more feminine stuff, like so I can easily access it. But I don't know, I'm a masochist and I like pain and I like searching through my catalog of 900 pose boxes for this. So bear with me.
Hot tip:
Yes.
Snap reset works for every box, so you don't have to add it to every individual one. That's why I don't add it to my boxes. Since
Which
you
one?
use the Gorgo as a one, you always have snap reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That is a hot tip. You don't have to add snap reset to all your boxes if you always use like a specific one that has it. You restart. Okay, so that makes sense if you play with bullprop. Because yeah, you have Forsair there already. Okay, where's my sitting? I think there's one. Most pose boxes will be in your hobbies MISC, but some you download can be in this MISC, and that's where this pose box is. And I think I also have another, like a male sitting one that looks brown. This one. And we know pose 1, pose 2 is the bane of pose boxing creations, but I haven't gone through and relabeled them yet. I have a question for people who use pose boxes. What do you do if there's a pose box, like a sitting pose box, and the thing you want them to sit on is lower than what they have? Is there a way you manage that, or are you just like, I'm gonna go find another sitting pose box that works better? Because when I make pose boxes and I like have sitting ones like this, I pull them all the way down to the ground so that I can shift them up to whatever height I want.
It
Clever
depends.
angling. Clever angling. Exact. That's the other option. Yeah. So like, if you have like that he's totally sitting. You just don't take it like that because his butt is hovering. Anyway,
For
what were you
me, it
saying, Ken?
depends on the situation and how perfect I want it to be. If it's just a one-off, if I just need one pose for a story, I might use like a below ground pose box and
Or
just to
OMSP?
scoot him to the height of the bench there, and then keep the feet out of frame.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I would if I want to be a perfectionist, if I want to use it for other things or I'm not in a hurry to get the picture, I will make the pose myself.
Gotcha. That's probably the best quality way you can do it. So, Julia, when you say you put them on an OMSP, are you talking about like one of the underground ones? I don't have the underground ones, but like
Yeah, the
for
underground.
see, I don't have that collection. Maybe I should. Then this wouldn't be an issue.
Do you have it in folders? It doesn't show in the catalog, the underground ones. Check your
Mm,
OMSP folder,
I don't
the
think I have it.
original one.
I don't think I have an OMSP folder. Like I wouldn't even know what
Which
it looks.
OMSPs do you use? Silent Lucidities?
Yeah, but I don't know if I download the underground ones. That's the thing. I do use a lot of Silent Lucidities, but I'm like, I'm never gonna put anything underground, and I just didn't download them.
Hmm.
I think that's
They're
the issue.
brown and white.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
noticed that they didn't show up in the catalog, so I thought maybe they'd show up
Oh,
in because mine only shows up in the folder.
yeah, I don't think I have an actual OMSP folder, but I do have a lot of Silent Lucidities. But yeah, so I guess that is what those underground OMSPs are for. Purple one, number 7. This one, but that doesn't. One moment, I have to. What are you doing? Oh, there's that. I can't pull him down. He doesn't go. He doesn't go down. Is a thing because that one gets his bottom in the correct place on the seat. Does it? He's too tall right now to even sit because of this pose. That's what I was saying. Like, if you need to like lower him, I guess you use the underground ones. He's not sitting up. Yeah, so the pose is like him sitting, but I don't know whoever made this. They didn't put him on it. Like, I don't know what chair they were using, but the bench is too low. The bench is too low for his bottom. This one is though. That's fine. That's just a thing that I come across. I'm like, I guess I'll find a new pose because it doesn't work. But it's good to know. Like, that's why I'm asking people here who know this. That's not a really good. Sorry, that is not a good sitting position. That's like for a couch, and he's on this. Like, that's not a good position. And now I forgot which one I used. I might have to. Nope, it's 4. Okay. What is he doing? I don't know what these sitting ones are off the top of my head. I don't use them that much. That's why I'm like rapid fire going through this. I'm sure people can relate when they're looking for poses to use. See, I like this pose, but then it's like, it's kind of awkward because if you're not like, and this is where I want to talk about story pictures with angles. So if you're like, I don't want his legs to be dangling here, go find an angle where he doesn't have to do that. Like, if you go from above, it's not as like evident that he is dangling his legs. It looks like his feet might be on the cement. The underground was, see, I just don't think I downloaded them, Marcus. I probably should go download them. Or you can crop it so you don't even have to show his feet. If you do that, you don't know if his feet are touching the ground or not. If you want them to, if people can think his feet are touching the ground with that. So that's another thing, angles. Like, pay attention to like angles and how you can get kind of the effect you want via angles. If you have Cerebiates, I don't know how to say that, but I know that name. There's a pose in there specifically designed for leaning against a fence. I don't know if I have that pose box. There's one in Aang's. There's like some leaning poses in Aang's. There's some leaning poses in some other ones too. I could also just go make my own pose box if I really, really wanted to. I would like do the Jason thing. Like I just want to go make my own pose box about this because I know exactly what I want, but I also, like I said, I like pain and I like messing with pose boxes and just finding something. So I'm gonna freeze him. I'm good with this. I'm gonna go get her. And I'm just gonna like pose out a little scene here about them, and then we can talk about consistency and angles, and you know, if you want it to be night, do this, or before you, no, don't do that. Shit. Don't do night if you have pink flashing. But I was gonna say, like, you could have the techie sim turn on the outdoor lights before you go do night, where it probably got pink again. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. So that's not a valid option right now. This is the one judging what I see. Shiftable OMSP closer than we've ever been. See, I have that. I do have that set. I have, but I don't think full range OMSPs. Oh, see, I only think I did full range OMSPs in catalog. That was the one I downloaded for that. I don't think I have the other one.
No, the underground is not present in the full range. You need to download it from that link and then just add it to the full range folder. That's what I did.
Oh.
They didn't include it in the newer pack.
Okay. Base game, no. Which one is this? So there's like a lot of files in this one. So it's just the underground apartment life ones, and then you add
just the underground. Just take the underground ones.
Thank you for that hot tip. All right. Oh yeah, I was gonna pose out a scene, but not in the dark. So I'm probably not gonna use these pictures because my story needs the dark to do this. Okay, so I want her to be kind of like be sassy, looking sassy here, crossing her arms, hip out. I know I could do that on this one, but I feel like these poses are used so many times that I kind of get posing fatigue, and I'm like, I don't want to use one that I've like seen 100 times throughout stories. So I try to like go find something else that might work. That's just me though. It doesn't affect the story. I just like, that's a personal preference.
Yeah, I do, like, for example, I do a lot of clothing, right? So albeit I generally use the same 5 to 10 poses on all of my male and female models, and yeah, I mean, I do get that it gets repetitive. If I were doing storytelling, I would probably use, I would probably make different choices, but for just for displaying outfits, for example, it's fine, it's not a huge deal, but it does get a bit repetitive.
It's not a bit like, because for storytelling, it's weird to me, like, if they're always in the same pose, like, and maybe you could spin that, like, they have a signature pose they always stay in, like, they're always like slumped over or something like that. But for me, the joy for storytelling and like from picture to picture is the variety. So that's pretty sassy, and she's also making a sassy face, like she's kind of mad, so I'm just gonna use that. That was serendipitous. But now he looks blank, like he's not even engaging with her. So this comes to my next tip for storytelling. Make sure your sims are looking at each other, and you can do that with the sim turner. You can do it with the overlay, the neck and head overlay. But like it gives it a elevation when your sims are engaging with each other. Like they look like they're engaging with each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull her head down so she's actually looking at him with the, and again, you can use that pick and mix thing, but fortunately I did not know it was not available for community lot, so I can't pull it out right now. See, and you can make your own references like Hobbs did. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I memorize a lot of them, and that's how I remember just going around playing with post boxes. There's a lot to remember. But yeah, references are really good. I really appreciate people like post box makers that put um reference pictures in their post box so you know what you're getting. Let's do front rotation 10. So she moved her head down, but not down enough. So I'm gonna pull that a little bit further ahead. Front rotation, maybe 20. That's another option. The fourth wall option. That's another mod I should probably invest in. Again, like I do a lot of storytelling, but I by no means am like the best or the most knowledgeable. That's why we're having this workshop, so we can bounce ideas off each other and learn things. Alright, so she's not making her face anymore, but her head is down, so I'm gonna unfreeze her, and this is where I'm gonna do the slow motion 5, and then go get the talk hack. Maybe I'll try one of those ones. I'm scared. I'm gonna use the one I know. Time freezer. Are you talking about the freezer clock, or is there a different time freezer? Oh, the freezer clock. Okay. Fourth wall. Yeah, that's probably a lot more efficient than what I'm doing. I didn't say I was efficient. I tried to be, but it's not the same. Alright, I'm going to have her talk. No, I'm going to have her reaction. And I want to go out guess not, because I want the guess not from this. And so she's in slow motions. So I can... What is she? Yeah, she's in slow motion. So I can kind of see. I was gonna go get her sad face. I think she's gonna make a sad face. Oh, she looks like she's rolling her eyes. Like that. Don't we just love Sims 2 animation? There we go. There's a grossed out, annoyed look. So now I'm gonna freeze her, and now I'm gonna go get him, unfreeze him. And I'm gonna make him go talk. Let's do animated talker. What did Nicholas do to get him on his he's just like, he's like a clown. This isn't really like, I have a scene that I need them to do, but I need it to be night, so I'm kind of not taking it as seriously. I'm just kind of doing this like pseudo scene. You're just wondering the same thing. What you did in the past was place the camera at the spot the Sims were in. Sim 1 was supposed to look, use the look at me option. Freeze, repeat the same for Sims 2. Tedious, but yeah, that sounds like really good and really like specific, and probably what I would be doing if I actually invested in that fourth wall mod. Oh, I want him to turn his head too. One moment. I want him to look right, just a little bit. Again, many ways to traumatize your Sims or skin a cat or whatever the saying is. You can use the sim looker, you can use the fourth wall, you can use overlays. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting into machinimas. That is not my wheelhouse. Like, I have made videos, but it's usually all vanilla animations because I major respect and awe to people who do machinimas, because that's a whole other ballgame of hurting Sims. Oh, he's downcast. She's chewing him out. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I actually like your take on that, Jason, so I'm gonna do a sad face. I'm gonna do a reaction. Actually, the negative high reactions are really good for really big emotions. Like, try to console back off. That has a pretty good, like, devastated look. What you want? After, you know, he smiles. Why are you so smiley, Nick? There. He looks sad. Can he look sadder? Okay. Actually, I'm gonna freeze him that. Like, this is taking a long time. I'm sorry. Again, you need to have patience when you're doing stories. And it's almost like you're storyboarding things, and there's like different ways to do it. You can do like storyboards where it's like a flipbook style, where you're getting pretty much every single frame in your story, which is a lot of work because it's more pictures. But there's also a way to do storytelling where you do more novelizations and less pictures, just to like briefly illustrate like the scene every so often. Because I've seen them both ways, and I think they're both effective in their own ways. It just depends what style you want to do. You go to stop all faces come in because they're in a stack to earth. That's it. Yeah, that's the high tier way to deal with that. All right, I'm gonna go change my thing to high and cross my fingers that they don't turn pink or crash. Just, oh, they turn pink. Nope. Okay, it did it. Didn't you see? Okay, so it's so weird, guys. So, I don't know if it'll work on your game, but on my game, personally, I let them go play in pink for like a minute, and then I turn my shaders back on, and they're fine. So, especially if this was on a residential lot, I would have just left and come back. But since it's on a community lot, I didn't want to like have to like travel back here. Isn't it? It's just so weird. Like, that's so weird, right? No, nobody else does. Like, does anybody else's game do that, where you just like let it pink for a while and then it behaves? So weird. All right. While I'm in tab mode, I'm gonna pull up the walls with my home page up, whatnot. That's covered in my other workshop about keyboard shortcuts, but I want. Okay, so I'm gonna try the lighting again. Actually, I'm gonna save this angle because I like this angle, and I'm sure almost everybody here knows about the camera angle. So what you do is you line up your camera like the way you want it, but like let's say you forgot something, you do something else. So you push Control, and then you can use the numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I'm doing Control 4. So when you come back in, you hit 4, it goes right back to where you wanted it. So that's saving camera angles. It's a very handy trick. I love using it. Kind of a lifesaver because I need to go turn off the lights. Sorry, what do you want me to do? I don't know. Sorry, you just... Right there. Okay, so they have their lights on. So now, how do I light this so it's a little bit lighter? You live streaming your process tomorrow? Oh, let it simmer. Can you drop a link to your Twitch, please? I stream tomorrow too. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would love to follow you. All right. Let me go see if I can light this up. So sometimes you have floor lights, light from the bottom, because I'm not going to be using that. And that's my camera angle. So that's nice. It like added some more light so you can see their faces better, and it's up lighting. Oh, Twitch. Yeah, I'm on Twitch. Wow, when I stream, I'm on Twitch. I need to figure out how to do it on YouTube. We need to swap. Let it simmer. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture like that. So that's just like one scene, right, in storytelling. So this is where you kind of start nudging them pose by pose. So I'm going to unfreeze him and have him look up. And I might just snap reset him because I don't remember what his down face or whatever was doing. So I'm just gonna go back to which pose, whatever pose he was in. Snapping him again because it's like I don't even know what I'm doing. Which one was he in? Was I even using this pose box? The thumb is wrong? Oh, for your channel. I gotcha. There he is. Right? Doing that. Back up. Put him. And then I'm gonna have him look up. And maybe he has a different facial expression. Let's do head, back rotation. Wow, he didn't look back. He looked down. That's not what I wanted. Pull it back. Okay, well I guess he can't do that with his head right now. I really need to invest in that fourth wall mod. Neck, back, 10. There he goes. Finally lift his head. Yeah. If the head doesn't work, then I try the neck, because the neck will pull it back. Except for now he's closing his eyes. Neck. I'm gonna give him like this one, which is reaction side eye, and then put this into slow motion 5 again, because I really like the eye roll looking thing here. If you're gonna torture redheads from Pleasant View. The gingers didn't do anything. What are you doing? Give me your face. Okay, well, he looks smarmy here, so I think I'm gonna save that. And the other thing is, you don't need to do this in chronological order. Like, this could be before the last picture. So if you're like frustrated and it's not going chronological, you can just do it in any order you kind of want. As long as, you know, they're wearing the same things and they're in the same setting. What was my other... I had some more notes now that I'm taking pictures. I talked about considering angles, considering consistency, considering facial expressions. Are the Sims looking at each other? Yeah, I actually might have gone over everything. I think everybody else, like, if you have questions about anything, this is probably a good question and answer time while I mess with this. I'm gonna unfreeze her. And I'm gonna change up her whole thing. She doesn't have to be standing in that sassy pose anymore. Maybe she sits next to him now. And how does she do that? Let's do not like that. Yeah, we got a lot of good picture taker people in here who know a lot more than me. I guess if there's anything you ask, like, how do you achieve this? Or if there's like, how would you set this up? Again, there's a lot of different ways to do all this stuff. I think are all these table poses? They might all be table. I might not want this. Ooh, her legs peeking out of her dress. Do you have a cue to stump my A? Maybe she kind of like the dress falls right here. This would be one where if I was like from this angle, I would Photoshop in that dress after in post-production.
Yeah, it's just the pose is perfect for the shot, but it's just weird. Like you would have to do like either creative camera angle or fix it in post.
Yeah, is your quarter tile turned on?
It is.
Turn her a little bit, more into him.
Oh, I'm actually off the grid. Like I'm. Are you talking about just?
No,
So,
the 45
portrait.
degree.
Yeah,
Oh,
45 degree.
like that?
Yeah, the dress is too big.
The dress is very fluffy.
Yeah,
I was gonna have her turn her head and look at him.
yeah, that'll be better, I think.
Yeah, I use Photoshop when I
Yep.
edit.
I use Photoshop.
Sometimes I'll be setting up a picture, and when I slow motion start to get an expression, the sim will go sliding off to parts far away. Either you have free will on and they want to go do something, and they're not frozen yet because you're waiting for their facial expression. There's not free will. They slide off.
How though? If
They're
if the sim is posed, his animation skeleton is locked. He's
Well-
not going to be able to move.
I've only had that when they're not, like, when their free will is on and I'm posing them, they'll slide off for me, but usually it's because I have free will on.
No, it's not for me. I'll have free will off. I always set it off when I'm taking pictures. It's like when I'll set the pose up, and then I'll, maybe out on the lawn somewhere, and then I'll drag them over to where they're facing somebody else, and then I want to get the expression right, or they're, I'm wanting to get a conversation, so I'm switching back and forth between the two people in the conversation. Then all of a sudden, the person that I had posed before will go sliding off somewhere.
Oh, okay, I think I know what you're talking about. So when you get the conversation, are you doing vanilla animations or are you doing a talk hack? Or how are you getting them to do the conversation?
I'm
Usually.
using a pose box or a talk hack.
Okay, what I would do, and I don't know, maybe you did this and this didn't work, do the talk hack or the pose box before you drag them over.
Okay.
Because
I don't think that's gonna work. You need
Really?
to use OMSPs. The sims are too close together, so even when posed, the sim tends to walk away. Even when they're posed, it happens.
Oh, do you have them? I was
Yeah.
assuming you had them on OMSP.
No, one of them, doesn't matter which one of them needs to be on an OMSP. That'll keep
Yeah.
them in place.
Sorry, I assumed you did have them on OMSP
Oh.
if you were moving them over. You can also use a walkthrough block. That acts as an OMSP. Sometimes it's a little bit fiddly, but yeah, if you put them on an OMSP, they kind of stay.
They stick.
Yeah, especially if you have free will off. But if you have free will on,
Okay.
I've done it before where I put them on an OMSP and they'll get off the OMSP.
No, I can't. I don't even play with free will on. So
Okay,
there's no
okay.
way.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense then. Yeah, put them on an OMSP. Try that.
Okay.
Yeah, because if the sim is able to move at all, they're going to walk out of frame. They're going to walk away from where they're posed.
Yeah.
If you put them on the OMSP, that's essentially a container slot, so the sim can't maneuver out of the container slot until you actually physically pick him up and reposition him.
Yeah, it happens too when you put them in front of doors. The sim has like this idea, I have to move, so they move, whether they're in pose or not. Just put one of them on an OMSP. Doesn't matter which one.
So, Lady Valendalidae, the talk hack is this thing we were using earlier when we want to, like, they're vanilla animations that are kind of just encapsulated in this that you can kick off, and that's what the talk hack is. And big question, where can you find pose box makers that are current? Well, Jason makes pose boxes, I make pose boxes, Nika makes pose boxes,
Venom makes pose boxes.
Venom makes pose, like, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of pose box people out there.
I think the question was more along the lines of, do you remember back in the day where SimHaven had this basically a comprehensive guide to pose boxes, and MYB had like an entire list of pose boxes? There isn't really a directory, because the community is so huge and it's branched off into so many different. There isn't like one-stop shop to find your pose boxes. You can look to different sites that have like comprehensive lists and that type of thing, but basically essentially every storyteller is responsible for curating his or her own pose boxes.
Yeah, the green frame is still where the OMSP is, but the sim is like 10 feet away. Yeah, in that case, they just reset it and try again. I've had that with the free will on, but I'm not sure why it does that with free will off if you have it on an OMSP.
Because the animation only plays for a certain amount of time, I think, but since they're still stuck in that container slot, they try to reposition themselves, and it just kind of like moves them away from the position of the original pose. I don't have a perfect explanation for it, but that's the best that I can come up with.
Thanks. It just happens to me so frequently when I take pictures. I just was wondering whether anybody had a solution.
Oh, I've had the same where you have the two sims posed, but then you go to live mode and one of them just kind of jumps out of the frame. They're still posed, but they're like away from the original position of the green footprint. And yeah, there isn't, I mean, basically stop and restart the pose. That's the only answer that I have for that one.
Okay.
So now I'm just doing the next scene. Like, I'd probably write a conversation that's happening, maybe some feelings that are happening, maybe some senses, like the air smells like this, the temperature feels like this, somebody's wearing cologne, something like that.
That's my thing. I have learned a bunch of techniques over the years for just composing pictures and making my own poses, but putting it all together and writing a coherent narrative, I think that is my weak spot.
Yeah, you have to practice writing to get that to kick off. I would just say if you're finding yourself needing to fill in between, you don't have to rely on your pictures to share everything. You can kind of pull from your pictures, because like right here I can be like the smell of the pot, like I can probably describe the smell of the flowers. I can describe like how the wind feels, like there's wind, like internal emotions, internal thoughts, stuff like that. But that's not from the picture. That's something I made up, the internal thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
But like what else? Yeah,
that's important to the story. And there are two schools of thought on this too. There's like the old Robert Rodriguez style of telling a story, where you use the lot that you have and the objects that you happen to have handy and the poses that you happen to have handy, and craft the story with what you have available. Or you can specifically set up like your own stage and build content specifically to create the type of story that you're going to tell, but that takes more time.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of effort. Actually, I kind of like this angle of them sitting there, although her legs popping out, so maybe... Yeah.
It's the pose, it's clipping through the skirt.
Is. I know, this is just me messing around. She's not looking at him anymore. It doesn't work. That's what I need, her looking at him. But I also like this angle.
Is that a slash skirt, or why does the leg even need to be there? That's my question.
She's crossing her legs, and it's clipping through the dress. So that would be what I would like.
But if the skirt is that low, why does it even need legs on the mesh?
I don't know, because she has a body. I don't know. You'd edit the, yeah. This is one where I'd edit the clipping afterwards, and I've done that before, where like legs are going through the dress, and I'm just like, you in Photoshop you can do like generative AI, so it kind of like picks up the stuff around it and fills it in, which is really nice if you have that version of Photoshop.
But it's generative AI is kind of pay to play. Yeah, you have to have a licensed version
Yeah,
of.
I do believe so, because I was showing you that and you couldn't get it to work on
Yeah, I
yours.
could not. I had to like. You can go to their website. I don't remember the name of it, but you get a certain amount of free generative AI per month, or I mean, you would have to go and pay for the licensed version, and I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move them in really quick, but I'm not saving. I'm gonna like leave this slot. I'm not gonna save this. But so you can either do this one of two ways. Again, lots of options. This post box doesn't work. Oh wait, never mind. I did. So some of these post boxes don't work. So you can either enable it for visiting sims beforehand, but if you come across it, like if you're in game, you're like, I don't want to quit my game and go enable this for visitors. What you can do is just move them in and like not save with you could probably do it with manipulator. I don't know manipulator again, but the family move in option, that's just a thing you could do. I could use that. See, Bannon, this is very genius. Let's try that. She was doing what? She was doing one of these poses. Not that one, but kind of close. Let me go find that one. I was using this box. I don't think I went to 7. It's 5. There. I was using that one, and you said the DD leg pose box, which is this one. What leg adjusting would you use for this? 'Cause they're already crossed, but if I do these leg poses, it'll make her stand. So it would be what, like, I think
Which leg is clipping?
I think it's her right thigh, her right leg. So thigh. What would we do? Front. I see, these ones are a little bit tricky for me. I don't know exactly what they do. I would have to experiment. Okay, well, she just moved it. That worked, kind of. It's less. No credits, watermarks. Oh, okay, cool. Knees still popping through. So I did what? Right thigh, front rotation 80. That one doesn't have a stop. So maybe somebody should tell Dee Dee that. Now I can't move it back. I don't know what's going on with her. Okay, I'm just gonna give up on that. That's a post-production picture now. I was gonna go
Fix it in
find.
post.
Ooh, I was just gonna go do a couple one here. So posing with couples, this is where you definitely want to put them on an OMSP to get them into each other's faces. Embrace and kiss partner. Like, what is this? Like, what'd he say? She was mad at him, but what did he say to make up? Like, how are they making up? This is what you write. The pictures just kind of guide you. Let's see, touch partner's face. And I don't even know where's someone. Right hand against partner's back. Oh wait, he's frozen. Of course, he's not going to do anything while he's frozen. Where'd my freezer clock go? Don't lose your freezer clock. It's also important. Oh, I put it over there. Okay. There we go. And make sure to snap him out of whatever he was before doing that. Otherwise, some of them start mixing the pose. And you can actually like do you can jerry-rig new poses, not with like overlays, but like let's say there's like a couples pose box. You can try. It doesn't always line up, but you can try taking like a couples from one pose box and a couples pose from another pose box, and just like try to mash the sims together. And see if you can get something, because they're not technically made for each other, but sometimes I've done that. Like there was a guitar playing pose box where I really liked the guitar player pose, but not necessarily like, and I wanted somebody hugging him while he was playing guitar, so I went and found a couple pose box of like a couple like one of them hugging, like kneeling, and I like slid him into that, and so it looked like somebody was hugging while he was playing guitar. Yeah, it's creative posing. It's nice when it works out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I would have gotten frustrated and just built my own poses.
Yeah, or you can do the Jason way and just build your own. And I should probably do that for like stuff that I really have specifically in mind instead of like wasting, so many hours messing around with pose boxes.
I mean, if you have something specific in mind, but it doesn't look quite right, then yeah, with some like DDs, arm overlays, or leg overlays, and just some small things, just some minor nudging, then it might work. But if it's that complicated, it's probably faster just to make your own poses for that one.
Yeah. I was gonna switch their poses. Do you have any surprising game interaction poses that you use all the time, but do not come from the boxes? Let me think, because I do use a healthy amount, I would say, of the vanilla stuff, like Sims walking. Like if I want to walk, I don't need a pose for walking. I'll send my Sims walking and just get them walking regularly. I don't have to pose that, or possibly running. The animations in Sims 2 are like really good, so like slow dancing, like the dip with slow dancing, you don't really need a pose box for that. It looks really good by itself. I'll use that for like romantic stuff.
Not necessarily for storytelling, but I create a lot of clothes, and for example, with my barbarian clothes, I will use the flex animations.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. We know how to make our own pose boxes. Esotheria, we have Jason had one and Venom had one. Jason's he coded in the Stop All, and Venom's I really liked how she had like the default one that she provided with hers was really comprehensive. So like we have options for that, and pose box making, it's kind of a steep learning curve, but I think once you get it, and you don't lose
Let me get you a channel playlist, Esotheria.
So this is one where it, like, you get the idea what they're supposed to do, but I might use overlays to get the heads in the right place. This is where Jason would be like, no, I'm gonna go make my own pose box and make it better. But like, he's totally like biting her nose here. So I would probably pull her head back in this instance. So you see, like, from picture to picture, they're moving around. It's not just a back and forth, taking a picture of his face talking, her face reacting, and vice versa. Like, it's kind of like there could be stuff happening in between, and then these just sort of guide the story along. Yeah. Nose fetish. Yeah, Nick likes noses. Anyway, I was doing, I was pulling her head back.
Esotheria, this is basically all of the workshops that we've done on posing. We've got Benins, we've got my series, and there's one that's just tips and tricks. But
See, I pulled her head back.
if you have the time, it's worth looking into.
I'm gonna do head back rotation 20. That's a little bit less extreme. So now, look, like, they look like they're staring at each other's eyes, happily in love. Great, we love that. We love that for them. So now I'll just go to this, and now I can do that angle I like. Maybe I'm going to turn off the grid. You can turn off the grid with R. R is the shortcut for the design tool. You can do it with the design tool, or you can go to options. If you have like a season specific thing though, just note that if you go into build by or the options, it like defaults to spring summer basically. Everything's very lush. So if you're like trying to keep it in autumn or something, I would go back to live mode because that'll take it back to autumn. Just make sure they're frozen. Or you can have, or you can change your, well, that, I guess that wouldn't help. But if you need a specific season, there's mods where you can change the season, or you can cheat their aspiration, go get the weather changer, cheat their aspiration points, have them use the weather changer. It's a little bit longer, but it works. It's in game. Like this. Look, the water fountain. This is like, find a good angle for this. And maybe I don't, like, I can't see them, so I'm gonna pull them and twist them a little. And make sure they're not clipping. Yes, they're making up. Exactly. This is the narrative. There we go. I kind of want that light. Oh. So this is where I'm like, oh look, that dumb grid, and I'm gonna save a camera angle with Control 5 this time. Go do this, and then go back to Tab and do 5. So don't have.
We scoot them forward so they're framed between the two gusts from the fountain.
Yeah, we could do that too. Solid suggestion. And I don't teach this, but there's like what Jason was saying with that's just, you have to get an eye for it, like this kind of layout and picture composition. But yeah,
I don't think that's something that can be taught. You just have to kind of play with it until you find something that's like aesthetically pleasing.
I went to college for like graphic design, so like those principles were kind of taught to me about like, and I took photography and stuff about like, like having a foreground, midground, background, contrast, like asymmetry, like what looks good. So that's just something you can play with your angles and like your sets. Thank you. I'm gonna take this picture. Oh, I'm turning my reshade on for this. It looks better. I like my reshade. Look the lighter. But yeah, or I also wanted the light in there. There we go. That's a good picture. You can also zoom in and out using your plus and minus. I don't like zooming out a lot because it's sort of fish eyes. So if anything, I'm gonna zoom in. But yeah, so that's just I know it took like 2 hours, but that was 3 pictures. Again, this can take time unless you're like just super fast and you know what you want, and you're super efficient. You use the sim manipulator and the fourth wall, things I don't have, things I didn't use. It could probably save a little bit of time.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for that perfect picture, it does take time to set up.
It does.
You can't expect just to. I mean, even if you make your own poses, you can't expect it to look perfect on the first go.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of patience.
And yeah, it absolutely does. And the other thing is like you can take different angles and just decide which one you want, because there was that one. I can do this one where I see her face, more of her face, or like I go down like that. Like that's an option. Like I'm not going to use all these pictures in my story, but I like having the options, and this is why I have like 5,000 pictures by the end of the year, is because I'm doing this.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh,
you get that's a good angle because you get the cityscape.
By the way, if you want to know how to do this to your downtowns and make them real nice, I have a workshop about that too, lighting up your downtowns. I'm actually going to save this angle with a Control 7 because I'm going to go widen my city, because my city is pretty bomb ass, and I want to turn my neighbors on for this, and hopefully it doesn't turn pink.
Bomb ass city.
My bomb ass city. I hope YouTube isn't like, this is for adults, because she said ass. Anyway, Let's go back to this.
Sorry.
Dude, we're fine. By the time you splice it for YouTube, this will be about 40 minutes in, and
Ooh,
I think
so
they only monitor like the first 10, 15 minutes.
there was actually trees in the next lot. So maybe I don't want neighbors. One moment. I like the lights better, so I'm turning neighbors off. See, this is me just being. This is like why it takes long, because you're trying to mess with it and experiment and find things. There we go. It's a little bit. There's a little bit more buildings in that one. So taking that picture home. Maybe I will use these pictures. I'm gonna go ahead and.
That's a nice picture.
Thank you.
I like the way that one is framed.
Thank you. Yeah, so then you can, freeze them, like, wait for the water to go off. This is why you have a techie sim, too, like, get live stuff. Like, if you needed, like, an open door in the background, this is just, like, a misc tip. Like, if I needed, for some reason, they were indoors, and I needed, like, an open door, like, she ran in the door and just, like, flung herself in his arms, and I had them posed already, I would go take my techie sim and just have them walk through the door and then grab them and move them off scene. They're like stage
move
hands.
the sim that opened the door out of frame.
Yeah. If the cops came, you did it right. Thank you. Yeah, I hope. So the thing is, like, I have a series of pictures of them, like, after this scene, and I really, really hope. I know this is exactly the same dress I used, but I don't know exactly what I used for him. So that might just be a consistency error I have to deal with, or I have to get anal retentive, go find his actual outfit, and repose this whole thing. So, like, whatever your process is.
This picture is nice too. It's like someone's watching them from the window.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's another thing. I like creeping on my Sims through the window.
Creep.
Like that. Yeah, I would do
Yeah,
that.
but like, yeah, if you frame it, it gives it a completely like inside the window. It gives it a completely different.
Creeping on my Sims through
Yeah,
the window.
there's a different context to the picture.
There's that one. Anyway, I'm pretty much done imparting my personal wisdom. So if there's any other Sim 2 photographers that want to give their wisdom or like advice, or if you have questions, I know Marcus just BRB'd. If you shoot above the floor, it's not noticeable at all. Wait, what wasn't noticeable? You once used a cat to open the door? That's funny. I don't usually have control pets on, so I don't usually control them to do that. They are. So that's another reason you would go into slow motion, because sometimes they like swing open so fast and maybe you want it slightly ajar. So what I would do is like take my techie stagehand sim, put them in front of the door, have them walk through the door in like slow motion and get it at like the right like width, and then pause it. But you definitely want to pose your Sims before you start doing that kind of technical stuff, because then it's like the door is going to be closed by the time you pose your Sims.
I will do that with fireplaces and bonfires too. Like I need a group of Sims in front of a bonfire. I'll have one who's not even in the pic.
Yeah.
Light the fire and then just move that Sim out of frame.
Yep, the techie Sim. Absolutely. There was the one I did with like bubble baths, or couple shower. But that's a little too spicy to do on stream. But like couple showers poses. I will have like some Sim go take a shower and then move them out of the shower and then put my pose couple under the shower.
Oh, I have plenty of those, but I will link them behind the adult wall.
Yeah, the adult wall. I was gonna go find an example of my bubble bath pictures because I really liked how they turned out. And
I sometimes get annoyed by the doors and I go a whole extra further, and then I just make a deco door.
A deco door?
That's a just put it the way I want. Like just take this exact door that you want, just put it in SimPE, make it deco, and you're good to go. Never moves again.
But then some of us who don't know how to do that.
Is that, Venom, is that like there's an open archway and then the door is a deco object?
If you use a set, then you usually have a arch and a door. That's easier. Then you can just put the arch in the house, and then you make the door a deco, and you put the deco in the arch.
That's creative.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to maybe try that. That sounds really cool. See, I really like hearing how other people do their photography on this. Here, this is one of my bubble baths. It is safe for work. Like that. So some other sim was taking a bath at the time, and I just took him out, and I had her pose like on a chair or something, and then put her in the bath. And it was kind of hard because I don't have a camera mod that like goes down, like so you can take up shots on the regular floor. So I built it on a stage instead of deco doors as objects. Blocking doors with one of those invisible blocks of blocking? I think I've heard of those, but I don't have them. Like the other day I was taking pictures in my bakery, and I put some sims in it wasn't a townie pen proper, it was like a pose box jail. Like I just put all my pose boxes in a circle and put the sim in there, I couldn't get out. Anyway, I think I'm done. If anybody else wants me to try something here, I'm probably gonna end it. It's been 2 hours. This is like the longest workshop ever. Sorry.
Well, like way back in the early days.
Yeah.
When they weren't quite as structured, they were just jam sessions basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a bit on the long side, but that's fine. I didn't have anything else going on.
I was just gonna say, if you liked this, I do stream sometimes on Thursday or Fridays. They're called Sneaky Sims 2 streams, and all I do is pose scenes for my stories. So if you're interested, let me know. I can give you my Twitch channel, or I could put it in that resource doc. But what I want to do is grab all the things people have linked and kind of just make a comprehensive like storytelling doc.
I got you covered.
Oh, you do? Have you been putting in my workshop?
I took some notes. I copied all the links. I will try to put those in a way that makes some kind of logical sense and add those to the post.
Okay, cool. I did make a workshop thing, though I didn't put really anything in there, but you could put that in there.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everyone. I hope you have the good rest of your day. Happy storytelling.